If you are the parent of young kids, you can no doubt relate to what we're about to talk about, because during the pandemic, new parents across the country found it difficult to find formula for their babies.
The shortage lasted nearly a year. Could it happen again? Dr. Baweja joins us now to break it all down. And so many questions come out of the pandemic, that being one of them. How did that shortage even happen?
So it was a perfect storm. During the COVID and pandemic, we forget that there was restrictive borders. A lot of products were not being crossed across the border, and a lot of the formulas that we have on the market are all U.S. manufactured. So that just created a lot of formula shortages because the formula was not able to get across the border. And then subsequent to that, we had actually 2 American facilities that had contamination with bacteria. So that created more formula shortages. And during this time, I was actually practicing, and there was a lot of fear amongst parents of trying to secure their own formula for their babies.
Sure. All right. Now listen, you had the chance to actually go to the factory firsthand.
Yes.
Tell us about that experience, because I don't think a lot of people think about the process and how it's actually made.
So Niuriss is actually it's actually the first Canadian-made formula factory that exists in Canada. So we're hoping that this is going to create a little bit of some openings and security for formula that exists in Canada alone, because again, most of our formulas that we have are all US manufactured. And I actually had the chance to go out to Kingston, Ontario, where the facility is located. And this starts off with cow's milk that comes into the facility that's locally sourced from Canadian farmers. And the cow's milk comes into the facility. It is then pasteurized, homogenized for safety reasons, and then it goes through added components such as vitamins, minerals, and nutritional elements such as opiolipids, which is very unique to Niuriss, which is a very good fat lipid which resembles breast milk. And then it goes through a mixing process, a heating process, an evaporation process, which then ultimately leads to the powdered milk that we see in infant formula. And what was really interesting to see was the packaging process. This whole entire process is all done by robotic devices. And it was so cool to see that these cans were just being conveyed onto the belt, the lids were being placed on, and then clustered into boxes of 6 and then stored. And the whole process takes, from start to finish, approximately 4 days.
Wow. Okay. You mentioned safety. We know that's a very big issue. In fact, you said that even before you got to tour the plant, you had to go through quite a bit of training. We actually have a clip of that.
Yes, the training, I was actually quite impressed with the extent of training that I needed to have before entering into the facility. This is us in PPE. As you can see, we're down from head to toe. We had exclusive footwear that we had to wear that was dedicated from the Niuriss facility. We had several sanitation checkpoints throughout the entire facility, all to adhere to quality and safety standards that has been set by Niuriss.
Okay, let's listen into this clip.
The reason why all of these procedures are so important is because of the end user of the product. That end user is infants. They don't have much of an immune system, so we want to make sure that there's nothing, that gets into the product that's not supposed to be there. We want parents to have peace of mind, and we would always want the top quality product going to those customers. So at every step of the way, we make sure that process is under our control.
All right. So, Doctor, just finally, what was your biggest takeaway from this experience?
Being a pediatrician and mom, I was actually quite impressed with the extent of safety standards that Niuriss is putting into their facility. And to understand that now the security issues, the supply chain issues will ultimately be fixed by having a factory right here in Canada, sourced by Canadian farmers and also with Canadian ingredients.
All right, important information. Dr. Baweja, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
This portion of the morning show is brought to you by Niuriss.